How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dyson Sphere Program. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. If you guys have, you guys know to do, smash the like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing, it really helps out the channel. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into today's episode. So, we are incredibly close to finally getting green science. And, fun fact, we do in fact get it this episode, which is really, really nice. Now that we have science going again, that pretty much just means we only have a couple more things to finish up. So I would say we maybe have two or three more episodes of this series left. So definitely a big thumbs up on that. So I'm really excited about kind of coming to a close. A couple of other things we worked on in today's episode is I made sure to craft a bunch more belts and things before we started recording, just so that way it wouldn't eat up a bunch of our time. And then really we're just going to go through and get all the inserters finished getting placed. And then I did see your guys' comments about how we can drag blueprints and things. I couldn't quite figure out the inserter thing, but I found what I think might be what you guys were talking about with it, but we'll see that here in a couple of minutes. Anyway, we're just gonna keep going ahead and getting things connected up. We're gonna go ahead and get our quantum chips, the last component we needed for that green science, and now it's time for us to get the deuterium fuel rods we're gonna need because, well, we need to make sure that we can get power situated, because right now we're still operating on the 5 assembly machines in the middle of basically Timbuktu, if you will. And then really just want to connect up this oil. Might as well. It's on the planet. And so then here's where I was like, okay, well let's see if we can figure this out. So it's like, okay, let me take a blueprint, and lo and behold, we could drag it. Now, I think that's what you guys were implying. If that's not what you were implying with the inserters, let me know and I'll look further into it. I'll actually try to go back and find the comment on it and implement it into next week somewhere, somehow. Just so other people know, because I was not privy to that information until recently. However, I will say I have learned quite a bit about placing things and utilizing a lot of the little things as we have been going. Couple other side notes. I think I mentioned it in last week's episode. We're going to be doing 2 episodes of RimWorld this week. Episode 2 is already out, and then episode 3 will be coming out probably on Friday. I think what I'll do is I'll have this come out tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Minecraft on Thursday, which I still have to record, and RimWorld will have another episode come out on Friday. So it will be this, Minecraft, RimWorld, and then the weekend, and then again, if time allows, I'll try to get 2 episodes of RimWorld. RimWorld is a series that is really quick to record, just due to the nature of how the game plays, thankfully. So there is a high chance that we'll probably be able to do 2 episodes of that a week. So if that sounds good for you guys, it will work for me. And then I think once this series finishes, I'm not sure what's going to replace it just yet. I think for probably a little while it will probably just be RimWorld and Minecraft. However, Minecraft is also coming to a close soon, just due to the nature of how close we're getting. I would say Minecraft has definitely more time in it. I would say Minecraft is probably at least 8-10 more episodes, if I had to guess. I haven't really looked at my notes for it this week, so I'm not really sure what the game plan is going to end up being there. However, I do know we just have a little bit more stuff we need to work on for that than we do on this series. And here I'm just going ahead and trying to get things all tidied and organized. Looking back on some of the original factory designs I had, I really feel like I've come a long way from episode 1 of this series of just placing things, because I'm like not making things look bad. And what's really funny is I remember my first ever playthrough of Dyson when it like first came out in early access. I think it's still in early access actually, but like when it first came on Steam, I I tried playing this game with the mentality that I have for Factorio, where oh, I'm gonna have a main bus, and things are gonna get pulled off of that single belt, not the mentality that you can still have a main bus, similar to how we have, but instead of the belts being the bus, it's just the assembly area is its own kind of bus in that regard. Um, and you don't really look at it as, oh, well, I have one main belt and things get pulled off of it. Rather, you have one assembly system or one component being manufactured, and then how can you distribute this to other areas? So it's more so the end game of Factorio, where you're worrying about uh, like belt capacity, and instead of planning things with, okay, well, I want to produce X amount and it's gonna need some iron. Okay, let me just pull from the main bus. And more, okay, it needs this much iron, that's these many belts. Okay, so we're gonna get 4 belts of iron pulled over to whatever it is, or 4 belts worth of iron pulled over. So this is the current deuterium setup, as you just saw that I mentioned earlier. So the goal right now is just to try to get it so that way we can move it over here. However, we need a couple things to be pulled over here. Number one being the deuterium, because everything else we pretty much can just pull on belts nearby. The only problem with this is we need 3, I believe it's 3 belts worth of deuterium, or 2.7 is I think what it came out to in decimal. However, that tower only had 1 port left, so we're going to have to pull from another tower. Conveniently, there is one right here, right next to it for oil, that I'm also using for the exportation of the deuterium fuel rods, which will hopefully get transported over to the proper areas that they will need to be sent off to, both so that they can be used locally here on this planet, but also be sent to other planets as we need them. As for, let's see, trying to think of if there's any other interesting things that are going on. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, I don't think so. There are a couple games that I'm currently like testing out with some friends to see if we enjoy them enough to either turn them into a series, or even just for enough for me to enjoy them to turn them into a series. A couple of the games we've played have been okay. However, they definitely lack a great gameplay loop. And then overall, though, we've I don't know, we've just been trying out some different things. The goal will probably be a Minecraft series with them soon-ish. How soon, I don't know. If I were to suspect, probably either in December or maybe later. I'm not sure what we're doing on that. I'm more so waiting for them to be available, and whatnot, because I think they all just started playing the new Phantom Liberty DLC for Cyberpunk, which, speaking of which, I own but have never played. I bought it when it was on sale, just have not touched the game. So it's unfortunate. I do need to go through and play it though. Other games that I've recently played, I played Starfield. It's an okay game, but it's the type of game that if you go into it thinking it's like other titles made by Bethesda, you kind of get taken aback a little bit. It doesn't have super great gameplay loops in certain parts. There's definitely some reused loops that aren't fun at all, as they are literally just the same loop. But what it lacks in those areas, it makes up tremendously in just a lot of the little dialogue options you can find, and a lot of the side quests, although aren't necessarily major impactful, they do feel impactful, which I like. So although they don't make the game wildly different with every little quest. They do at least make it feel like you're changing something, right? Or your little quest impacted something. Which is the only unfortunate thing. I wish story games did that, where side quests, although they were optional, had some level of impact that maybe could have been just a potential option, like in a main quest. That would be interesting, and then I guess they would be less of side quests and more of like supporting quests, but who knows. And then there was another game I was playing recently. I'm trying to think what it was. I'm blanking right now for some reason. I don't know. It's gonna come to me right after I finish recording. I can tell you that right now. Anyway, as you can see, we now finally have green science, and so we're queuing up everything that we've just been unable to do because research has stopped. However, research, although is now flowing, it's not gushing, or I guess it's not at a full bore of research. We are still limited in certain areas, so we are going to have to scale those up. One of those areas being hydrogen. So although we can get about half, I think it's 45% of the hydrogen needed for the base from oil production, the other 55% needs to come from the gas giant right next door. So those are just little things we're going to have to work on, just improving. So now, although we have technically everything connected, again, minus the Dyson Sphere, we have to just scale everything up to the full production. So the oil refinement, we also have to get more oil. I think we only have about a third. And even then, not all that third is producing because I believe we don't have enough power on that planet. So that's probably going to be some of the goals in the next episode, is just getting all of those things situated. So it might even be three more episodes, probably, maybe even 4, depending on how slow or quickly we move. Overall, though, I think the factory is in a really good place. It's looks really good. Looks fairly organized. I do wish the water area was a bit cleaner in terms of organization, because I kind of just threw everything down. I might go through and try to like make really nice walled off areas and things. I wish they would add like the ability to have like water drilling on the ground, maybe less efficient, but then you could organize it a bit nicer. I don't know. Also, can you put water down once you fill it in? Is that an option? I don't think I've ever looked into it if it is, but that would be an interesting thing to have. That's for sure. That is for sure. Another little thing I've kind of decided to do for designing like this main belt area was just to stack things of like items on top of each other, because you basically have an infinite building area when you do that, which is really nice. That is something I wish other factory building games implemented, because it does make it really easy to do when you build in that three-dimensional space of sorts. So I'm appreciative of that mechanic. Oh, I know another thing. Now that it is October, almost, actually it is over halfway to Halloween. I have been enjoying the fact that I can listen to Halloween music, but what sucks is I can listen to Halloween music for like all of October, but then as soon as November 1st hits, probably even before that, I start hearing Christmas music, and the decorations and things already are coming out in the stores, and I'm like, bro, we literally haven't even had Halloween yet. Could we like ease off? I was at Target the other day. They had already started like consolidating Halloween stuff that I swear to God they had just put out the last time I was there, which was only a couple days prior to that. And I was like, are you kidding me? We're already consolidating Halloween stuff to make way for Christmas lights and things. And I'm like, you know, there is a holiday between these two, right? I don't know. I feel like eventually stores are just going to have like a year-round section for the different holidays. It's going to be like, oh, we have that in our Christmas section. We have that in our Halloween section. Or just, I guess, the holiday section for all the other holidays that exist. But still, it's like, come on. I don't know. I just think it's crazy that every year I feel like it just comes a little bit faster and you're never quite ready for it and you're just like, where the hell did the time go? Because even though, like, I feel like every day is a little bit long, especially when I work, at the end of it, I'm like, wow, today flew by fast. So definitely make every hour of your days worth it. Or at the very least, just try to make one day of your week really worth it, because it will be over before you know it. That's for sure. You'll be 80 or 90 thinking back on it. Also, just going through here, checking all the milestones. Almost half of the runs we have left are just finding those extra special resources that exist, and mining them. Which, I don't really know if that should be a milestone, in my opinion, as much as it just seems like a kind of a filler milestone, not gonna lie. Actually surprised they didn't add a milestone for getting all the milestones. Alright, well, with that, I think that wraps up today's episode. And hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, you guys know what to do. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing, as it is free and it helps out the channel, helps show your support. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, you guys know what to do. Leave those down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.